Alright, guess what time it is, everybody? A new Pony episode. And this time, like the third episode, we have another new writer. Two new writers in only just like 1 week or so. Okay, maybe not 1 week, but a couple of weeks. Seems kind of a little fishy. But, we can't judge it on, just because of the new writer. We'll just see how he did. Did he did alright like the last one, or did he did pretty good? Now, I do have a new way of doing this. I'm going to do something like, what other bronies do. I'm going to look at the story first, then the characters, then the animation, and if there is a song or two, I'll take a look at those, and then I'll come to the moral, and I'll give my overall thoughts on the the episode. Excuse my unprofessionalism. Without further ado, let's get started. This is Fight to the Finish. So first, let's take a look at the story. Now, as far as stories goes, this one is not that bad. The story is that Miss Harshwinny and Rainbow Dash are looking for the best act in Ponyville for the Equestria Games, which is held at the Crystal Empire. So the CMC think of an act, and at first, it was great. But then Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon makes fun of Scootaloo for not being able to fly, and she quits. I'm not going to give away too much here, because I don't know if any of you have seen the episode yet, so I'm not going to give out too much spoilers in this one. But like I said, as far as stories go, well, this is not great. It's still a nice story. It's a story which some kids and people can connect to. And we'll see why in a bit. I do like the fact that they mentioned Equestria Games again. We do kind of see a little bit of it, but not too much of it. Maybe it's only held for another episode. Maybe it's like what the other brony said. Maybe it's going to be in the mid-season. Who knows? If it is, then I'm sort of a little excited for it, but we'll just wait and see how it plays out. Oh, and also this is another Scootaloo episode, which is not that bad as well. It's nice that we get to see her room, and, a lot of bronies say we don't get to see her parents. But really, I'm not that, big complaint on that. I mean, we really didn't get to see Applejack's parents too much in here, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, speaking of characters, unlike the last episode where the characters were a bit out of character and were just shoehorned into the plot, no pun intended by the way, this episode had the right type of characters, and they're likable in their own way. Rainbow Dash is a little bit better here, because while she's still her usual self, she is willing to be cool and calm as possible, and she does get some funny laughs out of me when she does try to be as professional as possible. Miss Harshwinny, well, there's not much to say about her. She still has some character. Like, we know she's a little strict when it comes to, games or any type of events, and is kind of a little snooty, and is British. Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon are still my favorite villains in the show. They play great roles as being bullies to the CMC. And I like this scene right here.
Then how do we stop them? We already called them blank flame.
That right there just proves that they suck at being bullies. And of course, my favorite character of this episode is Scootaloo herself. This was a really nice episode for her, and it shows her more character development. She still looks up to Rainbow Dash and still wants to prove that she can do anything to show her. So much so that she forgets the most important thing and just ends up quitting. I think we've all been here before. We work so hard at doing something, but there's one thing that is missing and we think no one's going to like it, so we just give up and quit, not thinking that, what if it wasn't that bad? What if it was really successful as it was? And that there is why this is one of my favorite episodes. Speaking of that, let's talk about the animation. Now, it's no surprise that the animation is still as good as the show, but there's still one thing that does kind of bug me about this episode. It's not major, it's more a minor thing, but it's the animation on Miss Harshwinny's mouth movement. Now, it's not as bad, but it's still really, it just looks awkward and creepy. I don't like how they make it move. It's like watching those really awkward fan videos where the mouths sometimes seem really weird and awkward. But in there it does kind of make sense because they don't have as much budget as the show does. But there is no excuse for why her mouth needs to move like this in here. Although another part of my favorite animation is the song right here, for when they use it. But how is the song itself? Well, let's take a look. Well, now we finally come across our first song of the season, and of course it's a CMC song. Before we talk about it, let me tell you what I think about the other songs that I sung before. The Showstoppers one, well, I think you all know how I feel about that. It's a piece of shit. The Perfect Stallion is still one of my favorite CMC songs. I like it for the singing and for the visuals itself. And Bad Seed, while it's still catchy, it's still gotten pretty good and better with the visuals, and it does look really nice as well. Here, I like this song. It's gotten really good with the visuals, and you can tell. It's got really creative. While the beats are pretty nice, I will admit that some of the songs can, like this song here, it's a little bit, I guess kind of out of beat when you first hear it.
No harder working ponies around. We are a trio. Work as a team. We'll be the first ponies out on the flag waving.
Well, other than that, I really do like this song. It's not a great, but overall, it's not a bad way to start off with the season, so it's pretty good for what they did. And oh my god, the moral. This is one of the best morals I've ever heard in the show so far. It's a very great moral to everyone, and I like how Rainbow Dasher puts it.
What's gotten into you, Scootaloo? I didn't want to ruin a chance to win just because I couldn't fly. And who said you had to? But flying's what Pegasus ponies are supposed to do. You flew when you carried the flag in the games, but that was me. You're you. And it just doesn't matter if you can fly or not. Your routine was amazing because it represented exactly what makes Ponyville special. You do still know what that is, right? Friendship. 3 kinds of ponies living together as friends, just like us. Earth ponies, unicorns, and Pegasi.
That moral alone makes me... I have no words for it. It's a really good moral. And it reminds me on why I like this show also very much. So now we come to my overall opinion on this show. I liked it. This is one of my favorite episodes. A huge step up after the last one. Very huge. Ed, whatever your last name is, I applaud you. I give you 2 thumbs up for what you have done with this episode. You have done very good. And here's to you working on MLP, and I look forward to your future writing episodes. So I wonder how you will do. So, overall score, a 9 out of 10. This is another one of my favorite episodes so far for Season 4 as well. So, until then, I hope you'll see you later on the Powerpuff Girls reference episode. So, till then, see you all later and take care.